What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. As the Boston Bruins have gotten off to a 1-3 start in the season, which I went back and watched my piece on the Dougie Hamilton trade, and I said this was going to happen. By the way, 1-3, and heads would roll. Claude Julien should go into Don Sweeney's office and beg to be fired. He said, "Look, Don, you don't want me here. Team's not listening to me anymore. The team sucks. It's not the same team we've had. There's been too many changes over the great teams we've had in the past 8-9 years. Let me out of here. Let's move on and just go from there." Because Claude inevitably, even if he lasts the season, gets shit canned. He's really the definition of lame duck. Keeping him around isn't doing him any favors. And I know he's kind of maligned in Boston because sometimes the system isn't exactly the most entertaining to watch. But you can't question his track record with the team. He was one that brought a Stanley Cup home. Him and Tim Thomas having a playoff run for the ages for the first time in 39 years. So again, the resume is there. And the thing with Claude is, if you fire him now, if you do take care of the inevitable now rather than delaying it, there are enough teams that would take him in a heartbeat. What do I mean? You think about teams that are off to were picked to be great and are off to a less than ideal start, with coaches that are similarly on the hot seat that I think Claude's a better coach than. You're looking at Brucey Boudreau in Anaheim. You're looking at Todd Richards in Columbus. Maybe Lindy Ruff in Dallas. Ken Hitchcock in St. Louis. Even I guess to a certain degree, Johnston in Pittsburgh and Capuano in Long Island. Claude's a better coach than all of those guys. It's like even maybe I know that they actually have a decent start, but Mike Yeo in Minnesota, Claude's a better coach than those guys. Plain and simple, straight up. And I think the one thing with St. Louis is he's a similar enough coach to Hitchcock, but he's not as much of a hard ass. I think systems aren't totally different. I think he could be, what gets them over the top. And I'm still not the biggest Claude fan, but I'm also smart enough to realize he's better than a lot of coaches in the league. And, I think in Boston we've been spoiled as fans to have, the greatest coach in the history of any sport, Bill Belichick in New England with the Patriots. Terry Francona was amazing for the Red Sox, who got screwed at the end. And Doc Rivers is, one of the most respected coaches in the NBA. And, obviously he was great. Now the guy they have now, Brad Stevens is amazing as well for the Celtics. So Claude was up there with the, as delivering a championship, helping the team be great every year. And a lot of it was the team was amazing. And I think the cynic in a lot of Bostonians is like, yeah, but if he had done this differently, done that, it's like, what? The results are there. Name another Bruins coach that had won a championship in the last 4 decades. You can't. So, that's just one of those situations. I think he's earned the right to be able to be like, look, it's not fair to have a guy like this who's done so much for the franchise be a lame duck right now. It's ridiculous. Sweeney should just cut the losses. Cassidy and Providence. Well, Cassidy's been around for a minute. He's not exactly a hotshot young coach himself. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. There's got to be someone out there that they can bring in, get through this dumpster fire of a season as an interim coach, and then go from there in the off season. It's gonna be a long 79 game. What do we have, 4 games with 78 games left? It's gonna be a long grind to the finish. But if the Bruins have any respect for what Claude's done for the team, show them the door. Let them take over one of those teams. And again, I think a team like St. Louis or Anaheim, Columbus even, I think he can really get those teams, on the right track and to where they should be. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got. This episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.